For every American citizen that watches this video, this should be the most upsetting and enraging video that you see, for the simple fact that in our country, we have people within our government that are supporting the enemies that wish to do harm to this country. Now, in this video, I'm going to give you irrefutable proof that the Democrat Party not only supports Iran and hopes that they defeat the U.S., they always have. As a matter of fact, the seed that led to what's happening today was planted with the Democrat president under Jimmy Carter and has been carried on under every single Democratic-led administration happening right up under our noses. And you don't have to take my word for it. You're going to hear directly from high-ranking Iranian officials that are working against the Islamic Republic that is within Iran. So let me make that distinction. The separation between the Iranian people and the Islamic Republic that took power in Iran, capturing it from the Shah, who was the American ally. That was a time when the Iranian people were allies with America. They lived similarly to the West.
In the mid-20th century, Iran was ruled by a dynasty that pushed rapid westernization. European clothes, parties, and secularism replacing traditional Islamic life. The dynasty allied closely with the West.
The women didn't walk around wearing hijabs, and the people were able to live free. But in 1979, with the support of the Democrat president, Jimmy Carter, the Islamic Republic under the Ayatollah captured the country, and they've held it in a stranglehold up until present day, which is what President Trump is working to, which he's just broken it loose. So when you watch these Democrats get up here and they're arguing and fighting for this and having these votes to limit President Trump's war power, and they say it's because Iran didn't pose a threat to us and all these other BS excuses, in this video, you're going to hear exactly why they're doing it. It is not for the reasons that they're saying when they get in front of the television. It is for a deep-rooted subversion that the Democrat Party has, that for whatever reason, they want to see America fall and us to become a socialist country ran by a tyrannical dictator, and as if all of them will have their own little areas in which they will be rulers. If you notice, the Democrats don't care about law, but always want to talk about no one's above it. No, they feel like no one's above the law besides the Democrats. So let's get into it. And remember, I'm going to show you irrefutable proof. You're going to hear it directly from the Iranians. But let me get into this article a little bit. So as you see right here, Lucas, Democrats, the only friends that Iran has left. So before I get into that article, I want you to listen to the one lone Democrat. And of all people, John Fetterman, after he had his stroke, I thought that he was just a kind of a useless putty that had been elected by the people of Pennsylvania derangedly. He actually beat Dr. Oz. I can't be more happy that John Fetterman is a senator of Pennsylvania. Now, Caitlin Collins there of the failing communist news network, CNN, she's going to try thinking she's going to get a gotcha. But what Fetterman's going to do, he's going to remind her of Democrat words and what Democrats said when it came to Iran and the Islamic Republic, throwing it right back in her face. Then after that, I'm going to let you listen to the Iranian gentleman as he breaks down exactly how we got here. But check out John Fetterman as he spoils Caitlin Collins' gotcha moment and throws it right back in her face what's really going on. Check this out.
Ask because some of your Democratic colleagues say that they don't think the administration has a clear end game in Iran. Do you have concerns about how they know when to be done with Iran?
Yeah, I mean, I'm very much aware that I'm the only Democrat in the Senate that supports this operation, and I'm going to continue to do that. And I would remind all of your viewers, whether it was Hillary Clinton when she was running for president or Kamala Harris when she was running just in 24. In fact, she actually identified Iran as her top concern. You know, she called Iran a grave danger, and now every single Democrat agrees that they can never allow Iran to acquire a nuclear bomb. And now Donald Trump has done that, made that virtually impossible to achieve their nuclear weapons, and they've effectively broke the entire Iranian military apparatus. I don't know why we as Democrats, if we had all those kinds of goals and those kinds of concerns, and now that he's achieved that, why now we only can criticize that, or they could always make it seem like it's been a failure or things are out of control. That's just categorically not true.
Well,
And I'm glad that he finished off with that being categorically not true, because, you know, you got those black pillars and then you got those Republicans and independents that are worrywarts, and every little thing that the Democrats say they believe in. Oh my God, Trump's doing this. And you say, calm down and pump the brakes. There's a such thing as propaganda, which Obama legalized in this country when they amended the Smith-Mundt Act, allowing subversive media to be used on American citizens. And that's what they do. When they say, oh, Trump's losing in Iran, oh, Iran's fighting back, folks. We obliterated every single branch of the Iranian military. They're literally using little bitty tugboats that's a gunboat. It's a little boat that has a gun on it, and it has like a rocket launcher, and that's what they were using when they were threatening ships on the strait. But the only reason they were able to do that, because they told everybody there's mines in the bottom of the Strait of Hormuz, and any ships that don't travel along the proper route might be blown up. So the route forces the ships to go close to the coastline of Iran. And by utilizing that coastline, now you're at the mercy of one of their gunboats. And we don't even know if there's mines really in the bottom of that strait. All we've seen from Iran is nothing more than desperation tactics. But if I could find the clip, I'm going to find the clip and let you hear how Democrats spoke of Iran and what they said they would do if they had the chance to go in there.
Either the issue of Iran obtaining a nuclear weapon is resolved diplomatically, through a negotiation, or it's resolved through force, through war.
Message to Iran's leaders. The United States will never allow you to acquire a nuclear weapon. As president, I will take whatever actions are necessary to protect the United States and our allies. I will not hesitate to take military action if Iran attempts to obtain a nuclear weapon.
Which foreign country do you consider to be our greatest adversary?
I think there's an obvious one in mind, which is Iran. Iran has American blood on their hands, okay? This attack on Israel, 200 ballistic missiles. What we need to do to ensure that Iran never achieves the ability to be a nuclear power, that is one of my highest priorities.
And while we're talking about these disgraceful Democrats, please, if you're watching this video and you're enjoying it, please hit that like button, because again, I'll never ask you for a cash app, a super chat, or a donation. You hitting that like button, it helps a great deal. It lets YouTube know that they should promote this video for other people to watch it. And they love to see engagement. You leaving a comment really does help the video out. Only if you're enjoying it. And if this is your first time to the channel and watching one of my videos and you want to wait to the end, that's perfectly fine. But I really would appreciate you hitting that like button, leaving a comment, and subscribing if you aren't already. Now let me get back to talking about these disgraceful Democrats. Now, before I allow you to listen to the Iranian leader, I want you to listen to a homosexual, gay Iranian Democrat and what he has to say to his party. And you know it's bad when gay Democrats start talking out, but that's just how deep and how emotionally triggering this Iran situation is when the Democrats are supporting the Islamic Republic, and you got ignorant Americans who have no idea. You got women saying, oh, Trump, stop over there. Little do they know there's 47 million women over there in Iran that don't live free. They don't have rights, none whatsoever. The gays and transgenders all stop in Iran. They would be executed publicly in the streets of Iran if they were over there right now. But let me let this individual break it down to you. Listen to this.
Be silent. This is not okay. I'm no longer going to support Democrats. You Iranians, none of you should support Democrats. I'm honest. Honestly, I'm livid. I'm livid. I'm done with them completely. Just acknowledge the truth. Islamist Marxism is a terrorist entity. 90 million Iranians held hostage for 47 years because of your silence. American people, this is not about being politically correct. This is not about Islam. This is not about religion. This is about a cult. I beg you, I urge everyone, Democrat, Republican, please stand for people of Iran. This time, please stand by us. I beg you. I beg you. How can you?
Did you hear that emotional cry out? He's saying, tell the truth. This is not a time to try to be politically correct. And what the Democrats are doing literally during the time of war, trying to limit the power of President Trump, who has successfully made it to where Iran definitely doesn't have any type of nuclear power. Venezuela definitely has been relieved of their vicious dictator. But you got the Democrats trying to step in the way and to block it. So I want you to listen to this Iranian. He's the leader of the Iranian Australian Patriots Association. Okay. This man who was born and grew up in Iran, but then fled to Australia because of the oppression. Listen to him as he gives us a history lesson on how we got here, blames who it was that put us here, and how he feels about what President Trump is doing over there. And I'm sick of Americans here giving their 2 cents on what's going on over there. Most of them couldn't point to Iran on a globe if you gave it to them and said you get $1 million. On the heels of all of the stuff that's taking place in the country right now, seniors, it's extremely important that you make sure you've got the best Medicare plan available, because this year, Medicare plans are expected to increase 10%. And that's $215 out of your Social Security check. And guess what? Some of your doctors may not be in network. Some of your prescriptions may no longer be covered. And that would suck for you to be going to visit your doctor to find out they're not in network, or for you to need a prescription to find out it's no longer covered. Why take the risk? With Chapter, you can reach out to Chapter, and a free phone call can last as short as only 20 minutes and speak to one of the highly skilled, unbiased professionals that will help you make sure you got the best Medicare plan available. If you've got the best, great. But if not, they can make sure you've got what you need. So use that number there on the screen, or visit the website at askchapter.org/realpolitics and let Chapter make sure you've got everything you need. They have no idea what the Islamic Republic stands for. They think that's a Muslim here in America. Little do they know there's a difference between being a Muslim and Islam. They're two different things. But again, you know, ignorant Westerners, we think we know everything. We're shocked when a McDonald's is in China or in Iran somewhere, as if it can only be here. So I'm not surprised, but I am disappointed that more people won't do education. And then we got this whole anti-Israel push, and these ignorant people don't understand. The Iranians and the terrorists, Hamas, they've spent over $120 million on propaganda programs straight for America. So when you got people that never gave a crap about Israel 4 years ago, all of a sudden the guy at the gas station, the lady in the grocery store who don't watch anything political at all of a sudden, Israel's the enemy. And you say, can you be so blind? Yeah, Israel got some bull crap going with it. And yeah, we could talk about different Jews that have done things and head of corporations and whatnot if you want to do that. But what's been changed? What's different? It's been there. But all of a sudden, people just can't take anymore. It is nothing more than propaganda to manipulate the American people, to weigh down on our leadership so that they stop the attacks over there, so that they can regain power and bring death to our shores. And these same people that so anti-Israel aren't saying anything about the Islamic Republic takeover that's trying to happen right here in America, where they're bringing in Sharia law. Under Sharia law, where men would marry girls 9-year-old and up. But again, these same people couldn't tell you that. They're clueless about that. It just irks me. But check out this man as he gives a great breakdown. His name is Manny Tagadezi. You know, I did my best to pronounce that. Check it out.
Since Operation Epic Fury has been launched, we've heard a lot of people in the media, particularly American media, as well as Democrats, really using their voices to send a message against the war, claiming that this is going to be a forever war, claiming that Donald Trump doesn't know what he's doing, claiming that Donald Trump is just following Israel's lead here. What's your assessment of that when you hear those messages?
Actually, this is not the true, and this is not based on the facts. It's the actual facts. You know, the Democrats always supporting the regime. The Democrats in the U.S. government always supporting the regime from the beginning, from the establishment of the Islamic regime. When Jimmy Carter, he was under power, one of the Democrats. And he supported Ayatollah Khomeini, the first leader of the Islamic regime. They supported him. They were against the Shah. They never support our light Shah. And after that, in Bill Clinton time, he was a Democrat. Also, he supported the regime when President Khatami, he took to the power as a president. Bill Clinton, administration supported him. Then again, in Obama time, he was another Democrat. He supported the regime. Obama, he betrayed to Iranian people. Obama sent the regime based on the nuclear deal. He sent through $1.7 billion to the regime by cash, because by sanction, they never allowed to send via the bank transfer. They sent an airplane full of the cash, $1.7 billion to the regime. And it happened again in Joe Biden time. So Iranian people believe that Donald Trump, he is a Republican, and the most bravest Republican in the United States, who made a brave decision to get rid of this regime, not negotiating, not making a deal on the table and betray to Iranian people. You know, so Donald Trump made a brave decision to support the Iranian people, and he's not, not by the Israeli, two different, countries, two different policies, but they are strategic allies together. Mm-hmm. And at the end, Iranian people, Iranian government can be allied to US and Israel. Why not? We had good partnership with the US before the Islamic Revolution. We had good partnership with Israel before the Islamic Revolution. Why we should be an enemy to the West, to the Israel, to the United States? The great nation can be work together. So these ideas coming from those persons who has anti-Israel, anti-US, and in general anti-West. That this idea coming from those people.
How hopeful are you for the future now of Iran?
We are very optimistic. We are very hopeful that this time, as many Iranians inside and outside, we are chanting every single week in front of the US consulate. We chanting, this is the last battle, Pahlavi will return. We are very, very optimistic. This time, our Crown Princess of Pahlavi is very optimistic. This should be the last chance we get rid of this regime, and we sentence to the victory. We have to be victorious. There is no other choice.
So did you hear what he said? Now, this is somebody born and raised there and broke it down very well. If you could clearly understand where he pointed out Jimmy Carter didn't support the Shah, but he supported the Islamic regime. Bill Clinton, same thing. Obama sent them $1.7 billion in cash, betraying the Iranian people, supporting the Islamic regime. Joe Biden did the same thing, gave him $6 billion for 5 quote-unquote hostages when the IRGC has said that is their business model. Kidnap an American, hold him for ransom, and the Americans will send $1 billion per person. They said if they snatch up an American a week, that's $52 billion right there to help them fund their black ops with the terrorist groups with Hezbollah and Hamas. But ask one of these deranged liberals that's out there protesting against it to spell Hezbollah or to tell you who they are. They can't. But they can talk down on Israel, though. And what they don't understand is that when you're Israel is a Middle Eastern country. And when you're dealing with a terrorist rest haven, how do you fight? How you can't be an angel in a room full of devils. So people say, oh, Israel aggressive and they do this. What are they supposed to be? Because we know that these people of the Islamic regime believe in 40 virgins and heavenly riches for sacrificing their life to take the life of another. So when you're dealing with somebody who worships and cherishes death, and you think you can deal with them with harsh words or, hey, let's just, like I say to my wife all the time, be kumbaya, you will be beheaded in the middle of a street. So we got to just get real with this thing. But let me go back to this article real quick, and I'm going to run through this as fast as I possibly can. So the Democrats, the only friends Iran has left. It's too bad that Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, is not around. If he were, he would be hosting a fundraiser for the Democrat Party, particularly those members of Congress, including all of them from Massachusetts, who voted to shut down the war with Iran that the U.S. is winning. Don't let the lamestream media fool you. They failed, of course, but their vote no doubt lifted the spirits of Khamenei's remaining militant Islamic fanatics who are still holed up in their underground bunkers and missile sites waiting to die. After bombing and alienating the previously friendly countries around it, the Democrat Party is the only ally Iran has left, even though Iran is the largest state sponsor of terrorism in the world and responsible for the death of thousands of Americans. These fools go out here, and now they'll let little Jewish kids get beat up at college campuses. They'll let 30,000 Iranians get slaughtered in the street for protesting. But heaven forbid you take a tanker from Iran. Heaven forbid you work with Israel. Get out of here. Of course, the vote seeking to hamstring the president did nothing for the morale of U.S. soldiers, sailors, and airmen fighting the war, including the families of the 6 Americans whose lives have already been taken. How would you feel if you had a son or a daughter in the military fighting a war to rid the world of the Iranian nuclear menace and you heard Democrats dump on the mission and their efforts? It's worse than that. In fact, the Democrats rooted for failure. Even before the vote, House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries said U.S. involvement in the endless war, which was only a week long, is going to end in failure. What actually ended in failure was the Democrat effort to curtail Trump's power as commander-in-chief to conduct military operations without asking Congress to declare war, just as presidents have done in the past. So all these people are like, oh, I don't know if Trump should have did that without Congress. Go look at the 26,000 bombs that Obama dropped without congressional approval. What about Clinton with Black Hawk Down? He didn't get Congress approval for that, and nobody said a word. That's the biggest annoyance. Everybody's so politically engaged with Trump, but they were deaf, dumb, and blind under every other administration. It is propaganda at the highest level. The Democrats' anti-Trump, anti-war resolution was killed in the House on a partisan vote of 219 to 212. A similar resolution died in the Senate earlier on a 53 to 47 vote. If this were President Barack Obama bombing Libya or killing terrorists, including Americans, by drones, which he did, they would be cheering and rooting it on like they did. Obama literally did a drone strike that killed an American. Democrats didn't say a word. President Trump hasn't dropped anything that hurt an American, but yet everybody's in the uproar. They question every little thing Trump does, while he's literally been the most transparent, the most getting things done America First president we've seen in at least 100 years. But everybody's, I don't know about him. Biden destroyed us. Obama destroyed us. Clinton refinanced our debt and started this whole thing, gave away our factories, got into the NAFTA deal, which led to 91,000 factories being gone, tens of millions of jobs going overseas. Nobody said a word then, but everybody's politically awake now under Trump. They got to watch him, watch them go right back to being deaf, dumb, and blind at the end of his term. And I'm going to roast as many of them as I can every time I see their hypocrisy. But this is Trump, and Democrats hate him more than they do the religious zealots in Iran, who just recently slaughtered 32,000 of protesting Iranians in the streets of Tehran and elsewhere. Democrats didn't say a word about that. These are the same Islamic religious radicals who were on the verge of creating nuclear weapons that they promised to use in their war against Israel, the U.S., and Western civilization. It is strange that no Democrats protested on behalf of the Iranian people. It's even stranger that they condemned Trump for coming to their aid by helping kill Khomeini and his followers in an Israeli airstrike. But Massachusetts Democrats can rest assured that the state's delegation to Congress voted the party line, and that is to obstruct Trump no matter what the issue is. Both Senators Ed Markey and Elizabeth Warren voted to halt the U.S. attacks on Iran, as did the 9 Massachusetts members of the House. They are U.S. Reps Jake Arkenaclaus of Newton, Catherine Clark of Revere, William Keaton of Bourne, Stephen Lynch of South Boston, James McGovern of Worcester, South Moulton of Salem, Richard Neal of Springfield, Ayanna Presley of Boston, and Lori Trahan of Westford Lowell. No sooner did they cast their vote against Trump and the war than Markey and the rest were on social media trying to raise money from it, giving Trahan at least the nickname of Lori Trahan among some in her district. So giving Trahan at least the nickname of Lori Tehran among some in her district, because for her support for Tehran. Trahan or Tehran also joined the radical members of the squad, including Presley, that's the bald-headed black lady that is the biggest racist and the loud-talking persons in Congress, and voted against reaffirming Iran as the largest state sponsor of terrorism in the world. Why wouldn't Democrats do that? If Khomeini were not dead, he would be among her contributors, as well as to other Democrat money grubbers. The strangest thing of all is that these Democrats attacking Trump over the war would be among the first to attack him for not doing something before Iran dropped the nuke on Israel. And then they would raise money from it. So do you catch this catch-22? If he would have did nothing and Iran would have struck Israel, they would call Trump the weakest president ever. He couldn't protect our ally. The fact that he did act, now they're saying, oh, he's wrong. One thing I realize with these people, he's damned if he does and he's damned if he don't. These people seriously just suffer from Trump derangement led on from propaganda in such a way. And it's not just politicians. It's in regular people on the street. But sit these people down and say, okay, what did Trump do bad? What has he done wrong? What did he lie about? They can't tell you one thing. They can just tell you feelings, but they can't give you facts. And I tell you one thing, feelings will get you killed. Facts can lead you to winning a situation and being right with the people. The Democrats' feelings have what led us to this crap right now with open borders and inflation out the yin yang. When the fact is, they never should have been here. They're a bleed on our society, and it's what's led ultimately to what we got going on all over the world. So I just wanted to bring you this to where the next time you hear a Democrat talking out against what President Trump is doing in Iran, you now know it's because they not only supported it, they helped create it. And you know one thing about that whole Democrat Party, you got to toe the party line if you want to be in leadership. The only thing, the sad thing, is you got ignorant people that are voters that are following this crap because they believe the Democrats really have some type of really good moral reason for this war not happening. They care about the children. No, they don't. They only care about power. And they care about empowering the Islamic Republic to wreak havoc on the West, which is what all of these socialists want to see. So I just wanted to bring you this. And you want to know something? If you stayed and you watched this video, I want to salute you with both hands because I really do appreciate you staying and watching this. Not everybody can get up to speed on things like this. It's not drama. It's not cussing. It's real hardcore information that people need to know. And I thank you for watching it. And since you're here, if you haven't already, hit that like button. And if you're not subscribed already, please subscribe. But most importantly, make sure that you stay safe and that you be great. I'm Brian Maxwell saying I look forward to seeing you at the top. Over and out, y'all.